So this video is going to show you how to import the secondary template and how to embed an agenda slideshow for your students. You'll go into your course where you want to import the template, and it doesn't matter if you already have folders in there, that's okay. What you're going to start off with is you're just going to go to the Add Materials button and you're going to go down to Import from Resources. So we've made this a template available for you in the school resources. So if you go down to Groups and under School Resources, you'll only see your school here, I believe. I'm going to jump to the high school, but if I go to middle school, you'll see that the template is there for you as well. So two choices for you. Do you just want the weeks available, or do you want, when you open up a week folder, do you want it to have a folder for each day of the week as well? So we had talked about in the tour that we did in a separate video, we talked about how when you pull in that week, do you want to add in the folders for yourself for each day of the week, or do you just want to edit the title of it? It's completely up to you. I'm going to grab the weeks and the days. I'm actually going to expand this one so that you can see everything that's in there, and I would recommend that you expand it as well and then check off all the folders that you're going to pull them in. If you just simply did it from the previous page, you would end up with a folder inside of your class that says high school template weeks days. So we don't need that. So if you open that one up, check them all off, and you're going to import. And so at this point, it's going to ask, like, are you sure? There's 181 items. Are you sure? You're going to say, yes, you want to import. And it's going to give you a message saying that this is going to kind of continue in the background and that they'll send you a message in your transfer history area. Typically speaking, you don't really need to wait for that message. If you want to, you can just go ahead and refresh the page, which is what I'm going to do right now, and you can see that the folders are there already. So when you pull them in, there's a few things that we need to take care of. Inside of class information, this is where we're going to go in and you can reorganize things. You can move them around however you choose to. If I wanted Google Meet up at the very top for my students, I could. I'm going to move it up just so that you can see it a little bit easier, because what I do need to do is I need to replace this, enter your code here, with whatever nickname I'm using with my students for Google Meet for the course that I'm in, if you use a different one depending on your course. So in order to edit it, you're just simply going to click on your settings gear and click edit. And you're just simply going to replace that text. So I can highlight that, and I'm just going to type in my code of Peters. And it kept the formatting that I had, the bolding and the italicized, but you can feel free to change this any way that you want. If you want to make it bigger or you want to change colors, anything you'd like to do to make it stand out a little bit better for your students. Okay, so in this section, that's the only thing that you need to do. But like we had said in the tour video, if you want to add more things in here that you think would be beneficial for your students, feel free to do so. Okay. So that's it for class information. I don't need to do anything in previous weeks right now because for my students, there's nothing in there for previous weeks. We'll just use that folder when the time comes. Future weeks and units. For both of these, what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to unpublish them because we don't want the students seeing those. Okay, so both for future weeks and for units, we're going to go in and we're going to unpublish them. It's thinking a little bit here. There was a lot inside of the Future Weeks folder, so that one will take a little bit. And then also for units, we're going to unpublish that one as well. And again, it's always going to confirm with you, yes, that you want to unpublish. All right. So things are looking pretty good at this point. What we need to do now is I'm going to expand the Future Weeks and expand the quarter that we're in. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out my first folder, which is where I will be embedding my agenda slide. So I'm going to just simply grab the date. If I click on the date and I drag it, you can see that wherever that gray box is, that's where it's going to be dropped for my students. Now, because it was unpublished initially, it's going to be unpublished when you pull it out into the main section of your course, and that's okay. I'm going to refresh, and it tells me it's unpublished, so I'm going to now publish that particular folder. And so each week you'll do that. You'll do that same process each week. You'll pull out the new folder and you'll publish it. Okay. Now, I like the idea of having my agenda for my students inside of that week's folder, but as we had mentioned previously in the other video, if you want to put the agenda here, you're welcome to do so, but somewhere we want that agenda slideshow to be put in there. So You can see that when I come into that week, my folders are already there for each day. And so I could go in and rename them because, of course, we had mentioned that we want a date associated with each one. Then if you want to label it by unit or by topic, whatever else you would like to do as far as adjusting the titles of those. But what I want to do is right up top here, I want my agenda slide to be there. If I use the Add Materials button here to insert it, it's going to actually put it at the very bottom of that particular page. So I like to just simply click on the horizontal line there at the top. And what we're going to do is, because I just need my students to view this, I don't need them to actually do anything with it, we're going to add this as a page. And your pages always have to have a title with them, so I'm just simply going to call this one Agenda. If you wanted to be more specific as to the week that it's for, if you're doing your agendas by week, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to keep mine simple. At this point, I'm going to use the Insert Content option, and I am going to go in and I'm going to pull something in from my Google Drive resource app. When this loads, you're going to just simply be searching. It doesn't organize it well here for you, so you're going to need to know what you titled it. So I'm just going to search for my high school agenda. I don't know why you're not finding it. There it is. All right. So I can check it off and I can import. I want to import the embed because I want to actually see that file embedded right on this page. Okay. The other option, you can find import embed over here as well. I could do it from there as well. Okay. So just options as to whichever you prefer. And what it does is it puts this yellow box there. It's a placeholder for you. It always puts a space at the top, so I like to get rid of that. But I could put extra written instructions in there as well for my students. The last thing that's important with this is that you actually want this to display in line, meaning on the page that the students are looking at. So I need to click this button and you can see that now it is set to display in line. Okay, and when I hit create, it's going to embed that agenda right at the very top of the page. Now I do need to make sure that that slideshow has the sharing permissions set to where anyone with the link can view it. Okay, Schoology does not automatically change the sharing permissions. We're sort of used to that by using Google Classroom, but Schoology does not do that with items that you're just embedding on a page for someone to view. So, and your students will tell you, if you forget to do that, they'll say, hey, we can't see it. And so that'll be your reminder. So no big deal if you forget. So now my agenda is at the top and my folders are ready to go, and I can just go in and I can edit each one's name to put the dates and to title them however I choose to. Okay, so really that's all there is that I need to do in order to get my template embedded, or imported, excuse me, and then my agenda embedded. So one thing that I forgot to mention is, what do you do if you have an assignment that spans multiple days? It doesn't neatly fit into one of our folders for a particular date. So in that case, what I would do is, of course, on my agenda slide, I would have it already described for the students, so it would be made clear in that way. But what you can do is you can always put an assignment outside of the folders if it's going to span multiple days. Okay, and then the students would be referencing what's listed on the agenda to see that particular assignment. So if I wanted to, I could put in an assignment right here. For instance, a CAMI assignment, maybe it's a multi-page packet that we're working on for the week. Maybe you have a writing assignment that you need them to do that's going to take multiple days. So when those items don't fit neatly into a folder, it's okay to just leave them within the week folder, the week of January 24th through the 28th. They would see the assignment right there, and your agenda is what's going to clue them into what they would be completing within that assignment each and every day.